Detroit Lions fans, you got two good ones. And you know exactly who I'm talking about when I say something like that. I'm talking about Terrion Arnold and Ennis Rakestraw Jr. I went back to watch the preseason week 1 game versus the New York Giants, and I really liked what I saw. So we got to talk all about it. And I don't want to waste too much time getting into it because we got a hot topic. So talking about Terrion Arnold and Ennis Rakestraw Jr., what do they bring to the table? How can they change the game and how can they impact the team who's looking to make a Super Bowl run? I think the first thing we have to look at is the offense. Not because they impact the offense, but because we know that's something you can bank on with this football team. You look at Jared Goff, you look at Gibbs Montgomery, you look at Amara St. Brown, Sam Laporta, that offensive line. I could keep going for days, but I think having a top 5 offense last year, getting to the NFC Championship game, understanding there was a key goal of what had to be improved as you head into this season, and that was the defense. Now, I think Brad Holmes, he does things that a lot of people just don't see the vision in, but it works. I mean, we have to look at his track record and we look at what this team is doing, what they've been doing, their formula to building this football team, it works. So I think putting the resources into the secondary that they did. You trade for Carlton Davis. You sign Amik Robinson. You draft Ennis Rakestraw Jr. You draft Terrion Arnold. You drafted Brian Branch last year. You're putting this thing together now. And looking at that, I just want to go back to this game. The game that I saw on Thursday, what actually happened in that football game? Because I think both Arnold and Rakestraw had great games. But talking specifically about the scheme, Aaron Glenn has one goal, and he wants to dictate. He wants to make the offense get into their shell. He wants to put them into a position where they can't really choose what they want to do. We're doing this, but this is not really our scheme. We're doing this because the Detroit Lions, they're forcing us into this look. He wants to dictate what the offense does. And I think last year, you looked at a team where the offense really dictated a lot of things. He was stubborn. He wanted to stay in man coverage, even though last year you didn't have the corners to stay in man coverage. Cam Sutton really struggled. Vildor really struggled. Now, you put all the resources into it. You really got some guys who can do that this year. And what I saw in the game was I was watching and I was looking at those two young corners. I saw Terrion Arnold. Oh, yeah, that's man coverage. He got it. He's going to press. He's going to win that rep. He got it. And then you look at Ennis Rakestraw Jr., they're running Tampa 2. They're running press man. It's 3rd and long. It's 1st and 10. They're running press man, and they're living in that Tampa 2. Now, I think if Jack Campbell can come along, he's really the perfect linebacker that I'd like in a Tampa 2 look. But you still got Barnes. You still got Anzalone, along with these guys who want to be physical. And I think Tampa 2, running man coverage, these are things that can help the pass rush. Because you look at the pass rush this year, I think it's not a lot of different names per se. You bring in Davenport. James Houston is coming back off of the injury. DJ Reader is going to be a dog. He's going to help the pass rush, but he's really going to help the run defense as if that needed help. But still talking about that, I think Aiden Hudson, we know what he is, double-digit sack guy. Now it's coming into this year and saying, we can do different things and we can blitz these linebackers. We can run these different stunts. We can run these loops. And I don't really have to worry about my corners as much. I can leave Ennis Rakestraw out there for a little bit and he's going to hold his own. I can leave Carlton Davis out there. He's going to hold his own. I can leave Terrion Arnold. They're going to hold their own. Now, you don't want to run man coverage the entire game, but when you really need it in a pinch, you can run it. And I think last year, Aaron Glenn was really put into a bind because if we're trying to help my pass rush, if I'm trying to help my secondary, if I'm trying to help everybody, you end up helping nobody. So you see a pass rush that really struggled. You see a secondary that really struggled. But now, eliminating that sense of worry in the back end as much, you still got to think. Brian Branch, he has something to prove still. He's a very good football player, but I think now I'm becoming more of that household name. It's year 2. I still remember when Brian Branch was supposed to be a top 25 pick, and he slid into the 2nd round. He has that in the back of his mind. So these are corners who really have that dog mentality. Terrion Arnold said it best. If my mother was out here on this football field, I'd jam her into the dirt. That's the type of thing that Aaron Glenn, he gets hyped up about stuff like that. He really likes to hear stuff like that because he wants to dictate and he doesn't want to let quarterbacks sit back. He doesn't want to let quarterbacks dink and dunk down the football field, allow the run game to do whatever they want to do because you have to worry about so many other things. And I think about this division now. Jordan Love, no slouch. JJ McCarthy looked pretty solid in this preseason game, even though I think Sam Darnold's set to start this year. And then you still look, Caleb Williams looked pretty solid in his preseason debut. So you kind of foresee this thing about how it's going, what's the direction of this division looking like. And there's quarterbacks all around. There's receivers all around on all of these football teams. Justin Jefferson, DJ Moore. And then you still got to look. You got Romeo Dobbs. You got those young tight ends over there in Green Bay. So it's just something that I think bringing these two young corners is going to help the mentality. It's going to help what Aaron Glenn wants to accomplish on defense. And I really liked what I saw in preseason week 1. I want to know what you guys think down below. How do you think these young corners can pair with these other guys? Amik, Carlton Davis, Kirby Joseph, Melifonu, how can they all come together? Because really, you think about this football team, they're probably going to they can sit in 3-3-5, they can sit in 4-2-5, they can sit in a lot of different formations because of the talent. But I just want to know, when there's 4 defensive backs, when there's 5 defensive backs on the football field, who are those 5 going to be? And it's going to be a real competition because, like I said, these guys are dogs. But those 2 young guys, they're getting after it. And I think they're going to be really impactful for this team, especially because of their play style. And that's why Aaron Glenn wanted them. Let me know what you think down below. That's going to do it for today's video. We'll be back with more. But for now, yeah.